Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on this video. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to 2021. We made it. Finally. That's all I gotta say for that intro. I'm not gonna go into more detail because we all know what 2020 was. Even though we have finally, thankfully, made it through 2020, it is now 2021. Let's go back a little bit, just for a little bit, and do a little review of my photography this past year. Some of the things I didn't make it onto my YouTube channel, things you guys might want to know about and want to know what I did. So if you want to see my 2020 in review, then just keep watching. Okay, so first off, let's start before the madness ensued. Earlier this year, I did a photo shoot editorial, and it was one of my very first publications. It was a passion project. There is a behind the scenes video for this. It is the fruit passion project that I created. It was published in Creators Mag, and I have, here you go, here's the cover of the editorial. This was a passion project I created. I won't talk too much about it because there's a YouTube video on it, but I just want to say that was kind of the beginning of my 2020. I also had another photo shoot that did get published as well, called A Living Doll, and I'll insert some photos here. I had a really great, awesome, amazing team and stylist and model. This was another one of my first publications. Fruit and The Living Doll were the very first publications I had ever received from my photography, fashion wise, so this was like a really big turning point for me. And of course, A Living Doll was the last shoot I did before quarantine, and then once quarantine happened, you all know the story. So I didn't shoot obviously during quarantine. I did some self-portraits here and there, but going forward, I think it was in June was when I did my first shoot out of quarantine with another makeup artist who I worked with on The Living Doll. We did this shoot called Motherland, and this was published internationally, my first international publication. International as in overseas, I will say. It was published in La Officielle, Belgium. I will insert them here. I love this editorial so much. This was our very first shoot out of quarantine. It was in the dead of summer, super hot, and we were inspired by this image. The model came to me with this concept and was like, let's do this. And I was like, heck yeah, girl, let's do it. And so we did it, and it got published, and I love this shoot so much because this was also like on the brink of the Black Lives Matter movement, and when people were really amplifying Black voices, and I just felt like, I don't know, this shoot was what I wanted to create in this moment, like a beautiful display of Black beauty, Black elegance. And of course it was like perfect timing with Beyonce's Black is King like album came out, so that is like the Motherland song from Beyonce. Play that in the background. I can't do that because copyright, but you can imagine it in your head. That's kind of like the vibe of this shoot, and I love this shoot so much. It was so beautiful, and I was so grateful to be able to work on that. And over the summer, if you're in America, or I guess this happened kind of all over the world now, you know about the Black Lives Matter movement and all the protests and demonstrations that were going on. Where I live is a pretty historical place in terms of Black history. The sit-in happened downtown in my city. So much of our history is in my city, and so of course my city did some demonstrations and some protests. And even though this was like in the middle of basically everything else going on, I just felt like I needed to be a part of this history as a Black woman and a photographer. This is my one chance to capture history, and so I wanted to be a part of that. So I went out and took some photos of the protests, and I also had the opportunity to shoot a local mural being painted in my city as well, painted by a lot of local artists and a local collective as well. And this isn't a publication, but it was just something I really wanted to note because I mean, it's history, something that will probably never happen again. This movement, as big as it was, and I just was so thankful to be able to be a part of it and to be able to live it and capture it in my photos, and now it can live on in forever. And then from there, my photography career just went like up out of nowhere, out of my mind expectations. I never would have thought would happen. Back in the summer, I also got reached out to by Men's Health magazine to shoot a portrait of one of their interviewees for their September issue, where they were featuring a lot of relevant 20-somethings doing great things and had great stories to tell. And I was asked, oh my god, to take a portrait of someone because they lived in my town, I mean not in my town, in my state, and I'm also a 20-something. So they reached out to me and I was like, yes, of course I want to be in Men's Health magazine. And so I will show you guys this. The fact that I could go, side note, the fact that I could just go into the store and buy this and know that my photo is in it, that is like one of my dreams come true. Like from the beginning of photography, when I got into fashion photography, I've always wanted to shoot magazines, like have my photos in magazines. You could go physically pick it up in the store. And I love my other editorials and I love digital features. They're like an honor to even be published anywhere, but there's just something so, you know, emotional and moving when you have something you can physically touch, like a physical representation of your work. I can't believe it. Here it is. Here's my Men's Health portrait. I took this photo of Righteous Keat. I definitely suggest you go look him up. He has a great nonprofit and he's doing such great, amazing things. He's a very nice young man. And I took his portrait for this. And my name credits is at the very, very bottom. But yeah, so that was like a big thing for me that happened. And this published Men's Health, this issue came out in September, literally days before my birthday. So it was just like, I don't know, everything just came together. It was like the universe was like, here's your birthday gift. And I'm like, thank you so much. I got reached out to another publication, not a magazine this time, but very, very, you know, well known anyway. During the election season, I was reached out to by the Washington Post to take a photo, a portrait of someone who also lived in my state, in my city. They were doing a feature story on Black voters and the US election and how they're planning to vote. These are Black voters who didn't vote in the previous election, and they're like talking about basically why they voted this time. And I was asked to take a portrait. It's in the Outlook section, I should mention that. Being a millennial, we don't buy newspapers, but I got a newspaper because my photo is in the newspaper, of course, right? So here we go. So many sounds, so many paper sounds, picture, so much sound, I'm sorry. I took a picture. This picture right here is the photo I took. I don't know if you can see, I don't know if the light is on it correctly. Another unexpected publication. Like I mean, I'm a fashion photographer, I do portraits as well, but like being reached out to by a journalistic publication is something I never expected to happen, and I'm so thankful for that opportunity. And I'm just like, what? Crazy, right? And it gets crazier, guys. I feel like I'm like a game show host that's like, and there's more. There is. So shortly after the Washington Post reached out to me, I was reached out to by the New York Times. I'm pausing for dramatic effect because the New York Times, guys, like, what? They reached out to me to do a feature story for their business section on someone who was also in my state. It's a Halloween themed story. This person that I photographed has a Halloween store in our state and has a big distribution center. Basically, they were doing a story on how Halloween was still going on in the midst of everything else going on in the world. And of course, I will say all of these shoots, precaution was taken. PPE used, mask, social distance as much as possible. Of course, safety first, obviously. So yeah, here is the cover, well, yeah, of the story. Look how big. So I took this photo. This whole spread right here, these photos are mine. Basically on the front page of the business section. Not bad. And then the story continues over onto this page. And they used a lot of my photos, which was like an honor, honestly. All these photos I took. Still in October, I have another publication. This was in a fashion magazine. And this was another one of my passion projects. I kind of created this concept of this pastel kind of dream-like place where the clothing was very fun and energetic, and I wanted this shoot to embrace your inner child and just have fun with it. But it's in this magazine, Mordaunt magazine. Beautiful cover, by the way. Here is my soft-hued youth, excuse me, editorial. And I worked with amazing model, amazing makeup artists for this, and I styled all of this myself. I think there's one more page. Yeah, this one. And yep. So yeah, and that was October. Around December, I collaborated with this guy. His name is Ron. He reached out to me and found interest in my work. He is like an outdoorsy person, I'm gonna say. Like on his page, he does a lot of traveling and outdoors stuff. I don't know what you call it. I don't want to call him an influencer, but I guess he is like an outdoor influencer. He reached out to me and said like, hey, I'm working with Eddie Bauer. I'm partnering with him for this one program, and I would love for you to take the photos. Eddie Bauer liked your work. They want you to work with us. Is that something you want to do? And I was like, yes. Absolutely yes. So I took some of these some photos for Eddie Bauer so they can make this announcement for Ron. He's a part of one of their community leaders for the year. Ron also has a great nonprofit, HBCU Outside, which basically just is connecting with HBCUs, historically black colleges, and connecting them with the outdoors. So basically I shot these photos for Eddie Bauer to post and use to promote Ron's community as a community leader. And again, another thing that I've kind of just always dreamed of was working with brands. And I mean, Eddie Bauer is like a household name here. I have Eddie Bauer stuff. When I went to Canada, half of my wardrobe was Eddie Bauer, so it was kind of just like an amazing full circle moment to be able to shoot these. And I really love these photos. I don't do like obviously outdoorsy travel like photos, but I do like taking photos outside, so it was a great mashup for me, and I love the way they turned out, the colors in the fall, so beautiful. So yeah, so that happened in December. And then here comes 2021, and amazingly enough, last day of the year, I got my work published again in another international publication, Graza, Bulgaria. This was probably the biggest editorial I've ever done, so I'm so happy and thankful to have this shoot published. It's called Future So Bright. Creative director wanted this to feel like a futuristic superhero, kind of thinking the Matrix type thing. A behind the scenes video of this photo shoot up on my Instagram. It's an IGTV video. I might post it on YouTube as well. It's a very short video because all the clips are iPhone. But anyway, 7-look editorial in a studio. Yeah, amazing, beautiful, first publication of 2021. So yeah, those were all of my highlights, publications of 2020. I just want to share that with you guys because these are some of the things that I didn't get to share on this YouTube channel, and this is an extension of my work, so I wanted it all to be here as well. You guys can see obviously all the photos from all of this stuff. I will link the digital features down below, but you also can just go over on my Instagram. All of these publications, all these shoots are on my Instagram as well. It's the same username as here, Elise Bird. But yeah, that was basically the video. I just wanted to review my publications and just extend my love and gratitude for all of you guys for supporting me through all of this, through this crazy time, always being there for my work and being there for me and cheering me on, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you to all the publications, not that you guys will ever see this, but thank you for all the publications that have trusted in me this year and believed in me and believed in my vision and let me work with you. It's honestly a dream come true, and I just hope for more publications in the future. So that is this video. I thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or congratulations, I don't know, if you want to just talk, comment down below. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.